Hey guys, it's MBSC1 again, and I made a video yesterday about Big Basic Scarborough, and about a month or so ago, I talked about how Chandelure was going to come out, and how I thought it was going to be good. I also said that I thought it was going to be 35 bucks when it comes out, and I was definitely wrong about that, but I also didn't know that they were going to make a bunch of reprints and stuff like that, so I talked about how I thought that Big Basic's Chandelure would possibly be a good deck. And at the time, I wasn't thinking about using Landorus, but now I am. And I have my list laid out here, and it's basically the same as my oops, I just realized I messed up. But anyway, it's basically the same as the Big Basic Scarborough list, except you take out the Garbours and put in Chandelures, and then you take out some tools and put in other stuff for Chandelure. So I think it's really good. Your matchup against you still do well against Darkrai even with Chandelure's weakness because you just don't use it and then you use Landorus instead. Landorus is just amazing against Darkrai. So I have my list here and it's all spread out over my table. I just explain everything one at a time. Oh shoot, it doesn't get all of it. That's alright. This is actually the same day as this is the same as yesterday, but I just want to make two videos in one day. So first, for my Pokemon, I've got one Mr. Mime, just a block bench damage. It's pretty obvious what Mr. Mime does. It's pretty good, and you got room for it. I've got two Chandelure. I don't think you need more than that. It's more of just a cleanup damage Pokemon, so like at the end of the game, you kind of use it to take those knockouts, like, and just knock out Pokemon for low energy cost and stuff like that, like when you have damage kind of spread out everywhere, you can just put the damage wherever, and it really helps not needing catchers and stuff like that. So just two Chandelure. You don't really need any more than that. I've got two Tornadus. Tornadus is just Tornadus anyway. It's just a really good to start out the game with if you can, especially if you're going against low HP Pokemon like Squirtle, Tepig, and Piplup. Those are all fairly popular right now, and it can just one-shot it on the first turn if you're going second. I've got one Bouffalant just for the 7 price trade. He's a fairly strong attacker. He's good against EXs. Booffer's a great ability. It's just an all-around good Pokemon. You could also do Terrakion, but I prefer Bouffalant because it's less situational. And I've got two Landorus. They're good to start out with if you're not going against, well, just really in general, they're just good to start out with. So I've only got two. Super Rod them back if you need to. Two Mewtwo. Mewtwo's just a strong attacker, works with double colorless energy, fairly straightforward. You don't really need 3, but you could do 3 if you want. It's probably the best attacker in the deck, honestly, so doing 3 isn't a bad idea. That's all the Pokemon. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 exactly. And then for the items, you have 2 Switch. And I actually meant to do 2 escape rope. I actually just don't have another escape rope right now. It hasn't really been necessary in the format for a long time, so I only have like 2, and my friend's borrowing one. But I'm gonna take this heavy ball out. Just imagine this heavy ball is the second escape rope. So 2 escape rope, 2 switch, no heavy ball because you don't need it. And then I've got 3 max potion. Now you can see it. Max potion is just good in big basics. 3 is enough. You don't really need 4, but you can do 4 if you want, just for super consistency. And then my A spec. This is kind of unusual. So not many people do Scoop Up Cyclone, but I think it's really solid in this deck. It's like a max potion, except you don't discard the energy. And it also works as a switch card. So Super Scoop Up I think is really good. I remember I was watching actually the video I made about Chandelure Big Basics, and I said that Scoop Up Cyclone is what it's called, is really good. And I usually have computer search, but I think since you really have a pretty consistent build anyway, Scoop Up Cyclone works pretty well in this deck. I actually might try it in my Garbodor list tomorrow or on Sunday when I play League. We'll see. 2 Burbank City Gym, that's pretty straightforward. Everyone runs at least 2, oops, shit, Burbank and their list, so it's pretty straightforward. You got the 4 laser, oops, hold on. Got 4 lasers, that's just also pretty obvious. You just run 4 lasers, and if you're running lasers in Burbank in your deck. 1 Super Rod just to, oops, hold on. Got the one Super Rod just so that you can recycle Pokemon and energy and stuff like that. Pretty straightforward. You've got the one Eviolite, just to help if you're using Mewtwo or just really Eviolite just is a good tool in general, and people just can't fit it in their decks usually. And there's a pretty good amount of room in this deck, so I just put one in. It helps if you're doing Mewtwo Wars, or like if you don't want to get knocked out by a Deoxys with your Mewtwo, for 2 energy. So Eviolite's just good. 1's enough. I might go up to 2. I've got the 2 float stones. 2's enough. 2 float stone, 2 switch, 2 escape rope is basically the switching cards I use in most decks now. Unless they have something else like Dark Cloak or Russian or something like that. That's pretty much my switch line for most decks. I actually don't know where my 4th Ultra Ball is right now, so that level ball, just pretend it's an Ultra Ball. Just 4 Ultra Ball, really standard. You pretty much run 4 balls in every deck, so, you know, it's just normal. I also have 1 energy switch. Just because I really don't know what to do with that space. Like, there's just so much room. I think I'm going to take it out for Max Potion, honestly, though, because Energy Switch doesn't really help that much, but I figure it helps with Mewtwo damage or Tornadus damage. So that's not bad. Also, you can Energy Switch off and then Max Potion with no energy attached. So that's nice. The energy is a little weird, but that's alright. I've got 1 Psychic just for Chandelure. So I can Super Rod it back. 4 Prism, just so that works as fighting or psychic, and then 4 fighting. Oh, and then also 4 double colorless energy. So that makes 13. I can Super Rod fighting and the psychic back, so that's nice. I might take out 1 Prism just for another psychic, so it's easier to Super Rod. Or I could even just go add 1 more energy and go like 3 or 4 psychic, or no, like 4 psychic. And I don't know, but anyway, you really don't need the prisms. You could just do psychic and fighting instead if you want. It just makes it a little more consistent this way. No one really runs hammers anymore, so I'm not too worried about the prisms getting discarded. So that's the energy. Then for the supporter line, oh yeah, quick note about this. I know I forgot to put the supporter line in the video yesterday, and I'm sorry about that. This supporter line is exactly the same, except I run 1 Bianca, and I didn't in the list I put up yesterday just because I needed room. But anyway, so supporter line is 1 Bianca, 4 Juniper. Everyone runs 4 Juniper in the deck, except for maybe Blastoise or those kind of decks. 4 N, obvious. 1 Bike, and I have the 1 Bike just because occasionally you get a Skyla in your hand and no supporter, and you really need to draw that turn. So if you can Skyla for a Bike, that kind of works as a pseudo-supporter draw card type of thing. Also, late game, having a Bicycle is good, just so that if they end you down to like 1 card, you can get a Bike and then draw up to 4 cards and maybe hit a supporter and have a really explosive end of your game. So I think 1 or 2 Bike is good. To Chorus, you know, I could do Bianca instead, but Chorus seems pretty good. Just a regular supporter. 2 is good, maybe 3 is fine. You could take out a Bike for a Chorus if you don't like bikes. You know, it's just a good supporter. Got 3 Skyla, just so I can fetch those Max Potions, those Super Rod, or that 1 Super Rod, and that 1 Energy Switch. Just Skyla's really just, you know, everyone runs Skyla basically. It's one of those staple supporters. And I think that's about it. So, thanks for watching. I just made this build like right now, honestly, but I've played with Chandelure in the past before, just as proxies before the card came out. So we'll see how it works. I'm gonna run this or Big Basic Scarborough on League at my league on Sunday, and I might go to a league tomorrow, which would actually be the day this video is uploaded because I'm gonna upload this tomorrow. But I might try it out tomorrow and then try one out tomorrow and then try a different one out on Sunday. But we'll see what happens. I'll talk about the deck a little more. I think it has potential. People don't like it though because it's weak to, or Chandelure is weak to Dark type, and it only spreads 4 damage counters instead of 6 like Landorus does. But I think it's great. So thanks for watching. That's all.